this year, we hauled our bikes to the East Coast and rode the eastern half of the Trans-America Trail from Nags Head, North Carolina to the TAT Stop in Trenton, Arkansas before heading back home from Arkansas across Louisiana to Southeast Texas. That trip was a little over 2,600 miles. Last time I was on a Tenere 700. This time I was riding my KTM 500 EXCF. Before heading out from Southeast Texas, I took the KTM 500 to Kevin Gravitt in Beaumont, Texas, to get him to make sure that the bike was ready for what was going to be a 2,600 mile plus trip to Port Orford, Oregon. This is what we were referring to as the western half of the TAT. Billy Oliver was still riding his KTM 890 Adventure. We hauled the bikes to Boise City, Oklahoma, and then on to the Great Plains Bunkhouse, where we spent our first night. Just an awesome place to stay, and it is right on the official TAT. Can't say enough about that place. On the way to Oklahoma, we stopped and picked up my father-in-law, Jerry Fleming, in Abilene, Texas. He was going to be our support truck driver. When we got to the bunkhouse that first night, we met Harry from Brighton, England. Not to tell any of his secrets, but Harry had shipped his bike from England. I think it was to Atlanta, Georgia, and he got on the bike there. And he was just slowly making his way across the United States. He was going to go to Moab, and then from there he was going to head down to Southern California and meet up with a friend. But anyway, he decided to join us. Anyway, we left fairly early that morning from the bunkhouse. It was about 10 miles to the New Mexico border. Then we crossed over into New Mexico. I think on the Trans-America Trail, there's roughly 60 miles of New Mexico before we hit the Colorado border. The next little bit here is us riding through New Mexico, heading towards Colorado. Harry had told us that he had ordered a rear tire for his Honda 300 and had it shipped to Topar, and they were going to put it on the next day. We were a little concerned that he might not get that done until like 10 or 11. So we stopped at this little cafe, and just on a hunch, I asked that fella there with the long beard if he happened to know anybody that worked at Topar. And he said, well, matter of fact, my son is riding with one of the owners today. So anyway, he called his son, who called one of the owners, and told us that they would be there at 8 o'clock in the morning to put Harry's tire on. So he got there right at 7:45. We met him about 8:30, and by about 8:45, they had his rear tire put on. So shout out to the guys at Topar. did see some rain clouds up ahead, and we did indeed get into a little bit of rain. It wasn't bad, but it was enough to make me put my camera up. We did stop in Levada and Westcliff, get gas or maybe get a drink before we actually entered into the San Isabel National Forest. Stopped for the night in Salida, where we met my father-in-law. Rode 254 miles on the day. Final little clip there is actually Poncha Springs, which was the next morning as we were headed west. Next video, we hit the passes in Colorado. Anyway, thanks for riding along. See you next time.